Hey everyone, this is my labor and delivery video. This is gonna be quite a interesting video. I did write it all down because I don't remember anything. I remember faintly parts of it, but at the end it just kind of dropped off. Like I don't know. So I will start on. Actually, I'm gonna start from a little bit before Friday, which was the day I had her. They said the Friday before that everything was going so well that they were gonna skip the visit on Tuesday and just start letting me go every Friday, so that they can keep watching her, but like not as much because she was doing so well. But I honestly think they shouldn't have skipped that visit, because if they didn't, I'm pretty sure they would have seen it coming earlier that I was supposed to have her, because everything was looking like amazing on that Friday before I had her, and then on that Friday that I had her, everything was just like, what happened? So I went into the ultrasound. Oh no, actually, at 11 o'clock on Friday, September 7th, at 11 o'clock, I had a doctor's appointment, and a non-stress test, an NST, where they put the monitors on my stomach. I think I posted a picture on my Facebook fan page. They put the monitors on your tummy and monitor her heart rate and if you are having contractions. And so they were doing that, and they came in, and or my Dr. Cromhow, which is my doctor, he came in and looked at my charts, because they look at to see when she kicks, if her heart rate like accelerates, or I don't know, they look at something. And so he walked in the first time and said, I'm not seeing enough of what I need to see, so I'll come back in about 10 minutes. And then he came back in 10 minutes and then said again, I'm not seeing what I need to see. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just not seeing what I need to see, and that's what I need to see to say that she's good. And so he was going to send me into the hospital to get an ultrasound done, but because I already had a scheduled ultrasound at 3:40 with the ultrasound people I usually go to, he said keep that appointment, go to that appointment, and figure out, like, see if anything's wrong. So I waited till that appointment, and then my boyfriend and his mom took me to that appointment, and we went to the appointment, and she was looking at everything, and her flow just disappeared. Like, there was like no flow at all. At one point there was a little bit, but like it just it was not good. So she said, okay, well, you're gonna have to go to the hospital. And then she told me, and don't ask when you're gonna leave, because you're not. Like, and I was like, okay. She's like, you're probably gonna be in the hospital till you deliver. And I said, well, that could be like weeks from now. Like, what are you talking about? And so we just walked over to the hospital, because it is right next to the ultrasound place. So we walked in there, and they got me hooked up onto the monitors, and were saying that they were going to monitor me for 24 hours and see how she's doing. And if not, then if she's doing okay, then I could probably go home, which I probably wouldn't have even done, because that's like, that would be scary to go home thinking like, okay, is she okay? Like, I don't know. So they got me monitored, and they also gave me another betamethasine, which is a steroid shot for her lungs. So they gave me one dose of that, and they're supposed to give me another for 24 hours. So I was supposed to stay the night in the hospital that night, just for the 24 hours, just to be monitored to make sure. But then, after all that happened, an hour later, my doctor walked into my room and sat on my bed and said, I'm out there looking at the monitors, so I'm looking at how she's doing, and her heart rate's kind of dropping. And I was like looking at him like, okay. And he put his hand over my hand and said, so we're gonna have to deliver you within the next hour. And I like looked at him and was like, what? And he's like, yes, she needs to come out. And so I was sitting there like, what is going on? And my mom was like freaking out, like, what are you talking about? Like, what's happening? And so he kept his hand on my hand and was like, okay, and now I have to tell you everything that's going on. And then he just started explaining, and then I just sat there and like tears just started coming out of my eyes, and I was crying like so hard, and he kind of stopped so that I could like pull myself together, and I was like crying, and I just started shaking like, this can't be happening right now, like this is too early. And my boyfriend came over, and he was like hugging me, and like he was upset, and I couldn't tell if he was crying because I was crying. So I just remember looking forward and seeing his mom like crying, and my mom freaking out, like texting everyone like, Maddie's gonna have a baby. So and then after I was like okay and like kind of like not full of tears, he he started explaining again that that she needs to come out, and how everything's gonna happen, and how there's gonna be a lot of nurses. Everything's gonna happen really fast right now. There's gonna be tons of nurses coming in here doing things, and then we're gonna take you in. And so I was like, okay. And so they put me on an IV. I think this is when I get morphine. I'm not quite sure, but I think it is. I think this was when I got morphine, when I was in there, because then all of a sudden, like, I just got really calm and was done crying. I wasn't shaking anymore. I was just, let's do this. So all the nurses come in and put my IVs in and gave me the morphine and asked me all these questions, and then we were sitting there, and I was just sitting there doing everything they asked me to, and answering all these questions, and then they were like, you're doing really well for being how old you are, and like we have like 30-year-olds in here that freak out when we're doing all this stuff, like they can't even handle it. And I was like, thank you. And then my boyfriend and my mom were getting suited up because they were the two that were gonna go in the room with me. So but this was at 6:30 when they were doing all that. They were this was 3 hours after my ultrasound appointment. So this was at 6:30 when they were doing all the putting my IVs and stuff. And then after that, they took me into the operating room. They wheeled me in a wheelchair, and I just remember sitting in that wheelchair, like freaked out of my mind, but so calm, like it was weird. And and I just remember being rolled past I think it was like Matt's family, and then it was my dad, and then it was my sister, and then my brother. And then I just remember my brother giving me the funniest face ever, and I smiled, and then they rolled me into the OR. So it was kind of like it was like a movie. It was pretty, like everything was happening like suspenseful. And when I walked in, and when they wheeled me into that room, it was the brightest room I think I've ever been in. It was white, like that's how bright it was. It was completely white, like it was ridiculous. And that was around 7:30 when they wheeled me into the OR. So that was about 7:30, and then they gave me the spinal, and which is like the epidural. And a lot of people said that would hurt. That did not hurt me at all. I don't know what you people are talking about, but I think it's because I don't mind needles. Like, I've obviously had numerous piercings, but I don't mind needles. Like, I'm good with IVs and shots and blood draws. Like, I'm fine with needles. But that did not hurt me at all. It just kind of like when he pushed on my back, but I think he was pushing it. I don't know what he was doing, but I felt like pushing on my spine, and it kind of like gives you the little chills, like, you know, when you hear nails going down a chalkboard. It was kind of like that, but it wasn't too bad, like, at all. Then my mom and Matthew, the spinal took about 30 minutes, and then they laid me down, and they laid me down, and I just remember, like, I was gonna help them, like, put my legs up on the table, and I just remember that I, for the life of me, could not move my legs. Like I felt so weird because they had to, like, plop my legs onto the table, and I couldn't even do anything. Like, it was just, like, weird. And then I just remember after that, them, this might be a little bit TMI, but when they were putting in my catheter, they had to put my legs in, like, butterfly position, and I just remember looking at, like, seeing them move my legs, and I could see it, but, like, I could not feel it. Like, it was really weird. And, then after all the, spinal was in, the catheter was in, they put the sheet up, and then, they put the nasal cannula thingy on me, and at exactly 8 o'clock, Matthew and my mom walked in, and he walked over by my side, and my mom was up against the side, but then she ended up moving down at the end of my table so she could see my C-section. And I just remember my boyfriend being in there and asking him, did they start yet? And he kind of, like, asked, and then the anesthesiologist, because he was standing behind me, and he was like, yeah. And so I just remember all I could feel was the table wiggling a little bit, like, not even a lot, just a little bit. And I was, like, holding my boyfriend's hand, and I kept remembering just, like, kind of like falling asleep, but then, like, waking up, and then, like, I don't know, it was weird. And I just remember that it was freaking me out because I could not swallow. Like, I could not swallow my saliva because I didn't have any saliva, and it was because the nasal cannula was making my throat so dry. And I just, like, could not swallow. Then after that, like, I could just, like, I can hear them talking about, like, I don't remember what they're talking about. I was just, like, laying there and having my eyes closed at some point, and then I heard die, or dead. No, I heard dead, and I, like, opened my eyes really fast, and I looked at my boyfriend and was like, what are they talking about? And he kind of, like, listened more. He's like, they're talking about bees. It's okay. So they were talking about, like, bees during my C-section. So, it was really weird. They were talking about bees. But, after that, I remember Dr. Carmel saying, okay, Maddie, you're going to feel a little bit of pressure. And I could feel it, like, right underneath my chest, like, or my boobs, in my chest. I could feel, like, a little bit of pressure, like, kind of like a bubble was just being, like, pushed. I don't know. Some people said that it, like, feels like something sitting on your chest. I didn't feel that. Honestly, I didn't feel that. But maybe it's, some people are different. Some people handle pain different. And it's probably because she was smaller than most babies, so it wasn't as big of a pressure as it would normally be. But it didn't bother me as much as anything. I just remember taking a deep breath in, like, oh, and then letting it out, and it was fine. And she was born exactly at 8:07. So, and then that's when I heard her cry, and I cried, and it was ridiculous. Like, I just had a baby. Then I got glued up and everything, and then I got wheeled out of the OR. I don't remember exactly what time it was. 9:30 probably, I think it was. I got wheeled out of there, and I don't remember really. I just remember going down the hallway and my boyfriend opening up the door to my room, and they said, oh no, we're going to take her back to the recovery room. So they took me back there, and I was in the bed, and she was, like, feeding me ice chips, and she was like, I had to, like, feel my legs a little bit, and I could not feel them, and it was really weird. And I told my boyfriend said that he remembered me going in there, and my voice sounded like a man's voice because I was, like, so, like, you know, when you're, like, really tired usually, and my voice kind of sounds like that right now because I I've been talking a lot because of all these videos I'm making, and yeah, my voice is kind of wearing out, but but he said that my voice sounded really weird, and that he remembers when he was in there, I was laying down, and he remembers just me just telling him, go touch my foot. And he went over there and touched my foot, and I was like, I can't feel that. And he was like, I don't know, he kind of was like, you were really drugged out, like, it was funny. So I just remember people coming in and out and of that room because everyone wanted to see me, and then I started getting my feelings back in my legs, and then they took me back to see her at in the NICU at 10:15. They wheeled me in there, and I remember it was a really tight fit because the NICU is kind of small, and it was a really tight fit, and they put me at the end of her isolette, and I took that video that's in Avery, Justin, Ellis here, the one at the end of the isolette, and Matthew went over there and like touched her little hand, and that's in that video too. And then I don't really know, like I don't remember much at this time. I just remember them telling me all this stuff, and they're like, oh, don't worry, like you probably won't remember any of this, so we'll just tell you again later. And I was like, okay. And then I think Matthew switched with his mom to go in the NICU because apparently, I don't remember this part, but Matt's mom told me, apparently I asked to go touch her, if I could touch her, and so they moved me around and put me on the side of her bed, and I don't remember this at all, like I don't remember this. And his mom got some pictures, because she just sent me a picture today, or no, it was yesterday, last night, of me at the side of, in my bed, touching her, but I don't remember that, so apparently I got to touch her that night. I just remember seeing her, and then after that I don't remember anything. Like I don't even remember that. Like I had to show pictures of, because I don't remember that, and I don't remember anything after that at all. I don't remember anything. Like I don't remember even being wheeled out of the NICU. So yeah, apparently, like I don't know. It was weird. Like I think it's kind of weird. And then I remember I remember 2 days after that, being in the room with my boyfriend and his mom, and her being like talking about how I was talking about being on morphine, and I was like, I was on morphine? What are you talking about? Like, I don't remember that either. And so she was like, I don't know. I didn't reminded about a lot of stuff, because half the stuff I didn't even remember. I just had to be told, and it kind of was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. So yeah, it was a crazy experience. And then the next day I got to go see her and actually like hold her and be there. So yeah, it was a crazy, Friday was a crazy day. Really crazy day. And I don't know, I'm just glad she's here. Like I know she's in the NICU and I have to go drive 30 minutes to see her, but it's not that big of a deal. Like I'm just glad she's here. And I know I said that for the longest time this pregnancy's dragged out, like I just wanted her to be here already, and then when it happened I was kind of like, well, she's here, like I'm so excited, and it's the greatest feeling in the world to like have something that you've been waiting for so long to be here. So that's pretty much my labor and delivery. Then after that I stayed 4 days in the hospital, and the last day we had to be out of there by midnight, so it was about 9:30, and my mom went in the NICU with me, and she stayed in there for about 30 minutes, and no, we got there at 9, and she stayed in there with me for about an hour, and then I don't know, she stayed in there for 30 minutes, sorry. We got there at 9, she stayed in there for 30 minutes, and at the end of the 30 minutes, they put her on my chest, like the kangaroo hold, and they put her on my chest, and we laid down in the rocking chair, and my mom went back to go get Matthew, and he came back, and we were back there for an hour and a half. Like, I was just sitting there holding her for 2 hours, and it felt like 30 minutes. Like, honestly, it went by so fast. Like, I don't know. And then I just remember at the end crying, holding her. And it was so cute. I was sitting there crying because I realized, like, oh God, like, we have to leave in 5 minutes. So I was sitting there crying, like, I don't want to leave her. And then she, like, kind of got up, like, picked her head up and, like, just started crying. And I was like, oh no, don't cry. Like, I know I'm crying, but don't cry. So that kind of made me happy that she was like, oh no, don't cry, or I'm gonna cry. So I like rocked her and held her head and made her stop crying, and then I don't know. We put her back in the isolette, and then I got to change her diaper, and that made me happy because I didn't think I was gonna be able to do that. And then I went home, and then I just remember the next day leaving her again and going to my boyfriend's house and crying there because it sucks. Like, I know she's there to be getting better and stuff, but I don't know, I miss her. So that was my labor and delivery, guys. I know it's a really, really, really long video, but I haven't made a video because of my 31-week update. I was in the hospital having her. So, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. And once again, my Facebook fan page and my Twitter will be in the description bar below. Go follow me on Twitter, like my Facebook fan page, subscribe. I think the button's right there. Subscribe. Yeah. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.